Good evening, YouTube model community. Welcome to Morris Custom Model Shop and the first episode of the Old Pro Show. In this series of shows, I'm going to do a lot of tips, techniques, and so on like that. Anytime you see one labeled Old Pro Show, that's what it's all about. It's tips and ideas and so on like that. Over the last few days, I've watched a lot of videos that guys have put up, various guys, Dr. Cranky being the latest, on glues, different types of glues. And of course, like all of you, I've got, liquid glue, I've got super glue, I've got Testors bottle glue, thin super glue, just, the white glue, everything you can think of. But this little puppy right here is one glue that nobody has mentioned, nobody said anything about using for modeling, nobody's explained the uses of it. I'll show you the glue bottle in a while, but first I want to explain some of the things that I use this glue for. It's a glue that dries but stays tacky after it dries. That's what it's all about, is that it stays tacky after it dries. I use this stuff for just so many different things in modeling. It comes in so handy. One of the first things I got it for was because you can take it and get one of these skewers, one of these little bamboo skewers, put a drop on the end of the skewer and stick a part to it like that and paint it, take it off, put another part on there. Sometimes, most of the time you have to replace the glue. It does lose some of its sticky to the part that it's pulling off of. I use it like that. I'll even use it on a toothpick. Let it dry and use it to pick up small parts, just a minuscule amount. Works great for picking up photo etched stuff, because if you're like me and fumble fingered, you can't pick that stuff up no way. So I'll actually just put just enough on there and wipe most of it off, to where it just barely does stick it. You can pick it up, pick your little part up, stick it to whatever you want, take another toothpick or knife blade, hold it in place, pull that away, and there's your part. Stays where it goes. So it's real good for that. It also works great for upholstery. If you want to put a paper or cloth, one of Freddy's Mexican blankets, anything like that you want to put down, put your glue down, let it dry, then you can stick whatever upholstery material you want on there and rub it down, and it'll stay there forever. But if you get it wrong and don't have it where you want it, you just peel it back off and lay it in there again. The glue will work the second time, still there. That way you can move things around. Works great for seat belts. You take your seat belt material, put a little bit on your material, stick it where you want it, just lay it down. Just a couple drops, all it takes. And let it dry and just stick it on there any way you want. If you want to move them, you can move them. It's a great thing for that. Another thing, piping on interior. Say you want to put a thin silver cord right through here. Well, you just take you a toothpick or whatever, put you a very fine line of that glue right along that line right there, and let it dry. And you just take your little silver cord and just stick it in there and just lay it in there and rub it down. And if it's not exactly the way you want it, you can pull it back up and move it. Or if it's a little low here, you can take your toothpick or whatever and push it up where it goes. And it works great for that. Photo etch materials. If you say you want to put photo etch door handles on the door here, you just put your little drop of this glue right here on that door, on the post where you want it to sit. Take your door handle, put it on there. It'll stay right there. If you bump it, it'll flex to where it don't break back off and go flying across the room. If you don't like the way it is, you can pull it back off and reapply it any way you want to. Works out great for us that don't get everything right the first time, you know what I mean? So that's another good place for it. You can even apply upholstery to door panels with it and everything like that. Say you want to run some wiring from here to your firewall or whatever's up here, and you don't want it to be loose. You can put a couple little drops of this glue down, put your wire in there once that glue's dry, and just stick it to that, and your wiring's going to stay right where you put it. Don't go wandering off on nothing. Don't stick up where you catch it on nothing. Works great for that kind of stuff. I use it a lot for that too. The thing that I found the most useful for is, say, I broke that off, putting, I don't know about the rest of it, but all my life I have fought lower radiator hoses. Lower radiator hoses have been the hardest things to get in, especially 50s and 60s cars with a crowded engine bay. Trying to get the pin that goes in here and the pin that goes in the radiator lined up with a pair of tweezers that you can't hardly get in there. It's almost impossible. What I do nowadays, I'll drill my hole right here for my lower radiator hose to go in. I'll put me a little bit of this glue in that hole right there. I'll put that pin in there once it dries, and it's there. And it'll be flexible and move. So when you put the engine in the engine bay, which this isn't the right one, but anyway, you put the engine in there, you put your radiator in, then all you got to do is take a little drop of super glue, put it into the hole in the radiator, take your tweezers and line this hose up. It's in there. Once that super glue on the radiator sets, that hose ain't going nowhere. And you haven't had to fight like a wrestling match on the pro circuit to get it in there. It works great for that. Works great for applying, say you want to put the aluminum photo etch covers over the top of your valve covers here. You put a little bit down, you put them right on there. If you don't get them straight, peel it off, put it back on again till you get it right. Works great for that. You can even use it, like say, for sub-assemblies. You want to put a frame together or something like that. Say, so you want to see how the roll cage fits and how much clearance you got to lower the body, make a NASCAR a little lower. Well, you can just stick it together with this stuff, and then when you're done, put it in there, mock it up, see how it fits. Just take it apart, rub the glue off with your fingers, and you're ready to put regular glue on it and do it again. So this is one glue that I couldn't build models without anymore, because my patience and lower radiator hoses wouldn't get along very well at all anymore. But this is just great stuff for that. I recommend it highly. So if you've not figured it out yet, that's Aleene's Tack It Over and Over glue. You can get that at Hobby Lobby. You can get that at Ben Franklin, Michaels, anywhere like that. It works great for anything that you want to either temporary tack or want to be able to move. Even emblems, photo etched emblems on the side of your car. You can put a little tiny drop of that on the back of the emblem. Put it on the car where you want it. Once it dries, it'll stay there. If it gets knocked off, it doesn't break anything. It doesn't hurt your paint job. All you gotta do is pick it up, wipe it off, put it back on there. Put you some more glue on it, put it back on there. Works great. I put a lot of antennas on cars with this stuff, because you can put a little drop on the bottom of the antenna, lay it to the side, let it dry, then you place it where you want to, and it'll stay right where you put it. If you bump it, it'll move some. It'll move that much, to one side or the other without snapping off or breaking the antenna or peeling the paint or anything. Windshield wipers. I put a lot of windshield wipers on with that stuff, so that if I bump them in finishing up the car, no foul. Just put it back where it was. So that's the glue. That's the glue that I use a lot of in snapping up these cars and fixing them up. So that's just one that nobody has mentioned. I'm like everybody else. I use every kind of glue in the world, depending on the circumstances. But that comes in handy for any light tacking, or I love it for upholstery. I even use it for flocking. Put it down for flocking. The only thing is it dries clear. So if you're going to flock something, make sure and paint underneath it the same color you're going to flock it with, or whatever color's under there is going to show through. Now, as far as I'm on glue subject, one other thing I've done, because we always have problems applying super glue in small enough amounts. I make these right here myself. All you got to do is go to the Dollar Tree or somewhere, buy you a pack of sewing needles. Get you some those bamboo skewers they use for cooking. cut them into sections, drill a little hole in, stick you a needle in there. Now you've got a little needle, the little eye right there catches the super glue. You got a little drop of super glue that you can just apply wherever you want it to the very smallest amount. Put it right there in the hole where you want it, and you got just enough glue to hold it, not enough to run everywhere. If the eye gets filled up with glue, soak it in fingernail polish remover, and that'll clean it right out. Or at the cost of it, toss it in the trash and make you some more. I keep half a dozen of these made up and sitting around a little cup. I get where I'm diabetic, I get all kinds of these things from my test strips. They got a good tight seal. I keep these things sitting around, things like that in it to use anytime. I've got a little piece of foam over here. I cut little holes in, and I put 5 or 6 of those in it, and I've got toothpicks and these and them micro brushes that you throw away like this right here. Got those in it. You know yourselves, you got to be careful with super glue. It will get on your fingers, and you'll wind up with your fingers glued to things you don't want them glued to, or you'll wind up messing up a model. And you get super glue on the model, it's just about run, because you can't even sand it half time to get it all back off. But that's the first of the old pro shows for you right there. Any questions, any comments, just give me a holler. I'll be more than happy to answer anything concerning this stuff. But other than that, I use the same glues everybody else does, so there's nothing special. So that's about all for tonight, guys. Hope everybody's having a good New Year's and enjoying their modeling. I'll be starting the Tom Daniels build in the very near future, and it is going to be the one I show the detailing of the engine compartments and other things on. I'm going to give you some tips and ideas on that, so be watching for that. And I guess that's about it for right now. Thank y'all and good night.